Hey again, and today I'm going to be talking about an anime that probably needs no introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway, just for the 3 people left in our world who have never heard about One Piece. Ever since it started way back in the late 90s, it hasn't stopped growing in popularity and has continued to enjoy its success as the most popular and successful manga series of all time in terms of manga sales. Now, if you haven't watched One Piece, there will be spoilers in this video, so make sure you watch One Piece before watching this, like all 1000 episodes of One Piece. The reason I wanted to do a One Piece video though, is because there has always been that one character in the show who's always been so mysterious, so shrouded in terms of information and what we know about him, but has found a way to be widely known and loved as a fan favorite. Despite not yet being a major character in One Piece, he has established himself on name alone. We're going to be talking about red-haired Shanks, one of the 4 pirate emperors, or the Yonko, and how I think that when One Piece is all said and done, he'll be known as the most powerful person to have ever existed, all because of the revelations soon to be made about the existence of Shanks being a devil fruit user. Make sure you pay attention for this one, because it might rethink your whole view on Shanks and see him in a totally brand new light. Let's start by going into Shanks' history. We know from the very first time we see him when Luffy was still a child and he arrived with his crew to Luffy's island for a pit stop. We saw Shanks and his crew grow to love and care for Luffy during their time on the island, and Luffy grew closer to them, especially Shanks. It's actually pretty clear to see that Shanks was Luffy's inspiration for wanting to create his own pirate group and travel the seas. We know just how important Shanks was and is to Luffy, and there is no greater example to refer to than when Shanks saved Luffy from a Sea King and in the process lost one of his arms. This scene was such an emotional one, seeing the tears coming down Luffy's face, realizing he is the reason that Shanks had to lose his arm, while Shanks just continues to hug Luffy and smile. This scene always makes me lose my shit and accelerates my heart by an extra 50 beats per minute, just from Luffy's voice actor breaking down in utter sadness, combined with Shanks' gentle touch and courage. This is honestly one of the greatest scenes in One Piece, and is a long-lasting memory that Luffy has always kept in his mind. However, the reason I want to revisit that scene is to highlight something strange that never seemed to really make sense to me. After Shanks' arm was bitten off, he menacingly gave the Sea King a stare that caused it to run away as fast as it could. Shanks' stare was most likely him using his Conqueror's Haki to inflict fear into the animal, as we have seen Luffy do the same towards other creatures, but not on the level that Shanks had displayed with the Sea King. That reason and power disparity alone is one factor that plays into Shanks' strength, but what I want to mention is Shanks' lack of reaction to his arm getting ripped clean off. You could just attribute that to anime characters and their reactions to injuries being unrealistic, but this was different compared to Tanjiro breaking a bunch of ribs in Demon Slayer and still being able to fight, or Ichigo from Bleach bleeding from every single part of his body but still able to move just fine. In those examples I just mentioned, and probably a billion others, there's always been at least a reaction to the pain. At the bare minimum, it should be acknowledged, but in spite of that, Shanks doesn't even flinch, and when Luffy mentions his arm, Shanks doesn't even look at his injuries to see how bad it is. It's almost as if Shanks didn't care for his arm in the first place. It felt as if him losing that arm was equivalent to losing a strand of hair, like it was replaceable. Shanks tried to play it off as being heroic and hiding his pain, but knowing what we know about humans, showing no reaction is impossible, unless Shanks possessed qualities that weren't human, something like a devil fruit. It's only a matter of time before Shanks is introduced into the story properly. It might not be directly after Wano, but it is bound to happen soon, and we will then see the extent of Shanks' abilities. It's not a coincidence that Eiichiro Oda has left basically almost all of Shanks' abilities and power to mystery, and has revealed close to nothing. He's leading up to the reveal of a devil fruit. But this isn't just going to be any devil fruit. It will be a devil fruit that changes the landscape of the One Piece world. My guess is it's a devil fruit of immortality. That might seem very extreme, but I came to this conclusion when I looked back and found 2 character interactions with Shanks really odd. During Marineford after Whitebeard's death, and what seemed like all-out war was going to happen following Blackbeard now being a dual devil fruit user, Shanks was able to single-handedly stop Blackbeard from causing further damage and led him to retreat, saying that he wasn't ready to face Shanks yet. So now let's imagine if you were Blackbeard and you had just defeated the strongest pirate in the world, gained his devil fruit, and are almost unstoppable. Tell me, would a Yonko member scare you after you have just stopped the ultimate Yonko? I don't think so. Blackbeard wouldn't have just run away after gaining all that power unless he knew something that we didn't. And it's not just Blackbeard. Fleet Admiral Sengoku decided to call off the whole war and stop the navy from fighting back, all because Shanks asked him to. He asked him to not desecrate the deaths of Portacus the Ace and Whitebeard. Why would Sengoku listen to the words of a pirate? That's like someone telling Snoop Dogg that he should stop stop smoking weed because it's not good to smoke weed, and Snoop Dogg just saying, sure, why not? It makes no sense with the backing of the whole Navy at his side why Sengoku would do that, unless he knew that Shanks is someone that cannot be stopped no matter what, that he's someone who is incapable of dying and would only waste the lives of countless Navy soldiers with no reward or positive outcome to gain from it. It seems as if there are already characters in the One Piece universe that are aware of Shanks' power or can tell from his demeanor just how dangerous this person is. We know that sooner or later, Luffy and his pirate crew will eventually rise to become one of the strongest pirate groups in the One Piece world. So in that time, they would have to at least face off against Shanks and his crew and fight to test each other's strength. This means that Luffy will go one-on-one with Shanks and find a way to bypass his devil fruit. If Shanks' devil fruit is immortality, then it is safe to assume that imperviousness and regeneration are factors that come with the devil fruit as well. We have seen with other devil fruits that they are just not focusing solely on one ability being the only factor, but instead that ability being accompanied by other elements, such as Luffy being able to turn into his Balance Man form and him being able to fling himself in the air because he's rubber. I don't see Luffy defeating Shanks by drowning him in water, as that really isn't how One Piece fights go down, but I could definitely see an outcome where Luffy finds a way to steal Shanks' devil fruit and use it as his own. It might be tacky, but if done the right way, could lead to a satisfying and overall exciting fight. This could be a legitimate turnout in One Piece, and it would be so cool if something like this was even in the mind of Oda. It might even be cool to see Shanks get any type of devil fruit. Either way, in the end, we all love One Piece, and Shanks is cool. But thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video.